Hey everyone, this is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net, reporting you live from One Buck Place. You can see the flags in the background. Was back out after the trip to Canton and after our game against the Eagles in Philadelphia to see what's going on in training camp, see what's happening with regards to taking some sort of responsive actions to what we saw on the field against Philadelphia. So camp today, I expected to be very high energy. They were out in full pads, but the reality is, when we talked to Coach Cutter after the practice, is they've got to still manage injuries and health throughout the entire season of training camp. So the practices are scripted. So while I thought we had a relatively heavy dose of special teams play, that was apparently already scripted to be the case. But with the way special teams turned out in Philadelphia on the field, I can imagine there'd be a necessary focus on that in not just the training camp sessions, but in film room especially, because a lot of that the special teams work has to be done in the film room. It's study work that has to be done. With regards to the skills positions, the quarterbacks I thought looked pretty sharp today. Receivers across the board did not look particularly sharp, and ball security was still an issue. There were a number of fumbles, botched handoffs. I don't recall seeing an interception, but there were some tipped balls, which was good for the defense, not great for the offense. It's one of those things where you look at the game in Philadelphia, and I'm going to be doing my full review of the game in Philadelphia on our Wednesday show because we've got a charity event coming up. We're going to bring in Ray Finkel to kick this week. No, it's funny, Craig. There's a lot of heat on Aguayo for missing that extra point. I'm still not one of those guys that's concerned about it. I like the pick. We have to see what this kid does under real circumstances. Sweezy is still absent, but the word that I've got is that the back injury is not a serious issue. It's just taking longer than they had expected, but it's not one of those things that they're afraid of it being a career issue. So it's just a matter of getting it right and getting it tight. We saw a lot of shuttling in and out. Donovan Smith was out today. He had flu. He was home sleeping, feeling better. Coach Cutter did not seem concerned with who was and who was not here. Coach Cutter did seem focused on, listen, you will see updates to the depth chart. You will see updates to the number of reps people take. That's going to be the situation going on. Has Alan Cross done anything at camp? Not that I recall, to be honest. He hasn't popped for me. The guys who popped were the same guys that popped earlier, but this is my first day back from being in Canton as well. So I don't have a lot of new data other than the one practice. Now, I'll be here Monday. We expect to see Monday's practice to be very intense. They got a day off tomorrow to recover, and then they'll be fine. Missed a kick in practice off a 2-minute drill today. I don't know. Like I said, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to that because I'm not going to watch every kick the guy makes. The guy was a prolific college kicker. They have a lot of faith in him coming in here. Watching every kick and every rep that he takes, I don't think is useful to anyone. You can go right ahead. No, that's fine. I'm live. It's fine. We have the folks who are making sure everyone gets fed out here. I think it's the team from the Greek restaurant who do a great job. But at any rate, there are a lot of people who are. People are scrutinizing every kick the guy takes because the Bucs reached for him. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny from everyone. But I think that this was a position of weakness last year, and so they went out to try and make it a position of strength. So we'll see how it goes in the real games once he gets settled down. But I don't think training camp was for that. Now, there was a lot of contact today. Not as much energy as I had expected. I think the guys are tired. I think that the first game is doing what a first game will do. That's real game condition, preseason or not. Those guys got beat up. So they're going to get in there, get their day off, get some treatment. Sorry about that interruption. Doug Martin looked good today. I thought that Storm looked pretty good today, too. So the running backs are looking good. Kenny Bell not look good. Kenny Bell had another drop. This is becoming a very second ton of potential, but I just don't think he's going to actualize it unless he has some great performance in-game relatively soon. I think that the Kenny Bell dream will be just that, a dream. And Justin Pulowski accurately pointed out, the guy looks good running routes, and he was one of those guys who was not overly excited about him because he wanted to see how he looked like in real game experience, and it turned out to be the case. That's not always the case. VH3 was out today. I didn't hear an update from Coach, but like I said, Coach did not seem concerned about the people who were out. It wasn't like there was like, oh yeah, well, we got a real concern. I had a guy go down today. I forgot which back it was. It was Preston Barber. But it looked like he just landed on the ball, made a great catch on a wheel in the corner of the end zone, so that wasn't a big deal. Steve, calling him a bust at this point is probably premature, but I think he's definitely on the bubble of that. But he also wasn't a very high-round pick. I think that there was a lot of hope coming out of Nebraska, and it's just the hope isn't being actualized. That's a shame. But, it's not like we took a first-rounder and he's blowing up here, so I wouldn't be sweating it that bad. But with regards to the other things going on in camp today, Glennon looked sharp. Glennon did not look sharp the other day in the real game, which was surprising because in practice he's always looked sharp. I thought that the amount of work that they did on the one-on-one and side-to-side was good. The bigs were working hard out there, and you can tell the defense is getting a little bit of swagger to them, which is good. So I'll be back out here Monday. Again, we'll have a show on Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. You guys will be able to tune into that. The What the Buck show. We'll have Mark Cook on live as well. And then we'll be out at our kickoff party at Ferg's Live, not the one in St. Pete that had some issues that some of you have heard about, but Ferg's Live right across from Amalie Arena. Craig Kurtz most of will be on the Storm. Listen, the reality of the situation is guys who don't make it to the NFL go other places and try and build those skills up. They've got to do that. So whether that's where Kenny ends up or not, he's got a lot of physical ability. You got to be able to convert physical ability to ability on the field and to performance on the field. And whether you choose to do that here, you try and stick on somewhere else. You go to Canada, you go to the Arena League. There's a lot of places for these guys to do it. We've seen it. You've seen it with guys with like Jeff Garcia, who's done that. Hell, it's viable routes. These talents are very rare. It's easy for us as fans and analysts or whatever we want to call ourselves to take shots at them, but these guys are not like us guys. They're superhuman when it comes to this stuff. So though he looks bad compared to some of these guys, you would never want to try and play against him. Hey, what's up, Big Nasty? I see you out there too. And thanks for the shout out on FanView. For those of you who don't know, you need to follow FanView for our boy Big Nasty. He's going to be following the Bucks from a fan's perspective for this FanView operation. A lot of our fellow fans and PFUFA are doing that too. It should be a great thing. And I know I'm going to see Nasty out at Fergs Live on Saturday night, which, by the way, is also getting the UFC fight. So it'd be a good time for Bucks fans to get together. I expect more data for you on Monday, but if you guys have questions and stuff you want me to try and pay attention to, tweet at WhatTheBuck and let me know, and I'll try and get it out and try and make sure I pay attention to it while I'm at camp. So I will see you guys. Defense is back, Nasty, and you got to be happy about that. I'm not going to Glendale, sir. But at any rate, I'll let you guys know when I am traveling. I did happen to come into some Dallas tickets, so I'll be going to Dallas this year. My away games will be, Glendale. No, Glendale's California, right? So that's not me. I'm sorry. I went to Polk County schools. We don't do geography. I'm going to Arizona. I'm going to Kansas City, and I'm going to Dallas. The broadcast stopped because I got a Skype call in the middle of it, but then I resumed. Hopefully you guys are okay and can see this. It seems like you may.